All right. Welcome, everybody, to the root cause of disease. I'm so glad you're joining me for this course today. This is the real root cause of my awakening. And whether or not you are completely awakened, please keep a very open mind during this course because it took me years to understand the intricacies of what is really causing disease, what is really causing emotional distress in people. And I had to go down some really deep, dark rabbit holes for that. So, what you're going to get today is you're going to get a whole nother side, a whole nother educational platform that is not taught anywhere in the world, on purpose, by the way. So whether you're new to this or whether you've dabbled and whether you understand a little bit of natural medicine, or for that matter, understanding yourself, how your mind works, how your body works, how your soul works, come into this course with just the feeling of understanding, the feeling of relaxation, and the feeling of your life is about to change forever. And understand that this is the culmination of 30 years worth of research, specifically designed to help you understand the things that are toxic and poisonous in your external and internal environment, and how you can learn to clean up your life and live in a toxin-free environment, and to create that health and that happiness that everybody desires, and really why we're here to begin with. So this is the deepest, darkest secrets the medical profession hopes you never figure out. This is the secrets that will transform your life, and the information, the hidden secrets and information that you're not going to find anywhere else. So sit back and enjoy, and we're going to have fun going through this, and this will transform your body, mind, and soul. Let's get started. I'm going to start by telling you a story about how this all came about, what the mission is, why this is kept from the public. And it all started about 25 years ago, around 1995. I was really the type of kid growing up when I was 9 years old, having visions, leaving my body, not understanding this world, not resonating with this physical reality. And I always knew that there was another side of what I was being told on the TV, the radio, etc. As I progressed in life, I was very lonely, actually, because I didn't feel like I had anybody to talk to. I didn't understand natural medicine. I didn't understand nature. I was just programmed to learn through the education system and through, books, whatever information I could get, and through my parents. And that's really what happens in people's lives, which we'll talk about later. So I ended up going into the military after high school, which was great for me. Taught me lots of discipline, and I needed that at that time in my life. I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. A lot like the kids these days. They're very confused. They're not utilizing their time efficiently, which we'll talk about how time is the most valuable asset that you have, and the decisions that you make are very valuable and shape your life of what you're going to do every single day. I was in college for 12 years, multiple majors. First, I wanted to be an attorney. I got bored with that, having to learn all the different types of cases and case laws and stuff. So, I just wanted to be in the courtroom and doing good things. And eventually I took a course on kinesiology and then athletic training. And then I started getting into healthcare, and I really liked that. And so I shifted into the medical side of college courses, and then worked for the college at the football and the basketball teams, and became a trainer. And I really started learning about the body. I started learning about how the body works. I started learning about the physiology, the biochemistry, and then started really enjoying that because it was very interesting to me. And then decided that I wanted to be a heart surgeon. A couple weeks probably or so, or maybe a month before I was going to take my MCAT, I ended up meeting a guy, a medical doctor from California that had moved to Houston that was heading up a research team. I think it was at a dinner or something. I can't remember what it was, but I ended up going back, sitting next to this guy, going back and forth and back and forth. And, I was open minded because of my past, but at the same time, I was brainwashed to a certain degree because of what I had learned in the institutions, the college institutions, which I thought was truth. He starts telling me about pharmaceuticals and how bad they are for the body. And I'm saying, no, we have the best scientists in the world. I mean, look at the look at the, Breast Cancer Association, American Cancer Association, American Diabetes Association. Look at all this stuff. This is what I've been taught. These are the commercials I've been watching for years and years. This is what's been programmed into my head, that scientism, that science is always right, that you have to give your powers up to these doctors, to the pharmaceutical industry, to the medical industry, to the education industry. And so we had a long conversation that night, about 2 hours, and we were talking about natural medicine. And he was talking about there's been cures for cancer for so many years, and there's been cures for all these diseases. And I was like, wait a second, that's not even possible. How has there been cures for cancer? I've been told there's no cures for cancer for the last, 5 or 6 years. Something's not right here, and he's saying there's been cures for all kinds of diseases. And I'm heading up this research team. And this is in 1995 when MD Anderson and the cancer hospitals were putting together and advertising their CAM programs, the complementary alternative medicine programs that they were putting into place. Now, mind you, in 1995, we had no internet. Our source of information was libraries. We were old school. We had to go to the library and look for this and pull the card out and talk to the librarian and spend 30 minutes looking for the book somewhere on the shelves and then go through and read it, or the studies, or, anything we were looking for. Well, after that night, I could not sleep for a couple nights after that. And I just call it God. God has always been a big part of my life, and spirituality and things. When you ask for things, it's like, ask and ye shall receive. Maybe you receive the information or the answer a day. Maybe you receive it an hour. Maybe you receive it a week from now. Most of the time, when you ask for something, especially when you really, really emotionally ask for it, you put that intention out there, it's going to be, a lot of times, someone very close to you might have that answer. I've had many people in my family since I started doing and teaching natural health that have come down with illnesses, come down with symptoms, come down with different diseases. And most of the time, the answer is staring you in the face and you don't even see it. I mean, I've had very close family members that have suffered from diseases and suffered from conditions, and I'm right there in front of their face with all the answers they need. Like, I'm just asking them and they don't even see me. And then people say, well, I wish I had answers for this and I wish I had answers for that. And usually it's staring them right in the face and they just don't even see it. For years, I've had family members suffer for 20 years with different conditions. And I'm like, I'm right here in front of your face. And, this is a conundrum that we have that's based on a lack of empowerment, a lack of education, and a specifically regimented, designed brainwashing system. Let's just call it what it is. It's a brainwashing system that teaches people and empowers people to look outside of themselves instead of looking inside of themselves and taking responsibility or looking around. God will always place somebody in your path, usually, that has the answer. Instead of, opening yourself up, instead of thinking you know more than your son does on this, or my brother-in-law is, younger or older, or just like, it's just this feeling like you, especially in family, that you just don't know what you know. And that's why it's always the hardest to work with family and friends. You can talk to any natural healthcare practitioner, any doctor in our field, and they always will tell you, if any of my friends and family, I try to teach them as much as possible, but they're always really the hardest to work with because they just, for some reason, don't think you know what you know because they've been around you since you were a kid and stuff. So I decided by spirit, by God, that this was really affecting me after this conversation with this doctor, but it wasn't affecting me in a bad way. It was affecting me in a very curious way. To go to the library and after a couple of days of not sleeping, to go to the library and actually say, let me just figure this out, because is there some truth to this, like what I'm being told? So I go to the library, which is a 45-minute drive away from my house, and I'm looking at and breaking down pharmaceuticals. This is when I had a minor I had already studied chemistry because my dad was a chemist. I got my first chemistry set when I was one. And I had an interest in all kinds of physiology, biochemistry courses in college. So, I had a good idea. I was, ready to go into medical school. And it literally took me 4 hours in the library looking at these chemicals, these synthetic derived chemical structures that they call pharmaceuticals or prescription medications, of breaking those down and seeing how does that affect the body? How does that affect the organ system? How does that affect the energetics? How does that affect, what does it do? What is it doing? Have you ever done that? Have you ever looked at that? No, nobody has. They don't teach you that. And I was shocked. Imagine 12 years in college and everything that you learned, and in 4 hours, you realize that you were told a lie. That you were never taught, not necessarily told a lie, yes, that pharmaceuticals heal disease, which they don't. They cover up the symptoms of disease. And that's what this course is about. You're going to find out, and you're going to learn the real root cause of disease in this course. I went back to this doctor, asked if I could join his team, and the rest is history. The reason I'm telling this story is because this was my journey to finding the root cause. We spent 2 years traveling around the world. And in the 90s, our job was to find the root cause of cancer and if there was any natural alternatives for cancer at the time. This was, like I said, in the night from 95 to 98, about 3 years, we devoured every book, everything we could find on natural therapies, Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. We were scouring doctors that had 90% or above success rates treating cancer or degenerative diseases. We went to the underground cancer conventions. I say underground because even in the 90s, I did not even know this. When we started digging deep in our research, we were finding out that doctors were literally being killed off that had cures for disease because they were a threat to the big pharma and the American Medical Association. We found out that the American Medical Association and big pharma and the doctors that run this big mafia organization do not really care about your health or you getting better. They just care about power, control, and money. to keep you sick and keep you in the system for a long period of time. And we found that these doctors were being killed off when they started coming public. And this was before the internet. We saw some crazy things. We were in some crazy interviews. We ended up being on the Royal Raymond Rife research team. Royal Raymond Rife was a doctor that was curing cancer, 98% success rate. Actually, some people even say 100% success rate using frequencies. We were on his team with Barry Lyons, wrote The Cancer Cure That Worked. We were on the Nikola Tesla research team. We got to look at all kinds of different, what you would call alien technology back in the 90s, lasers, like hyperthermic devices, beds that would resonate your cells. I mean, these doctors and scientists were coming up with all kinds of methods, different types of colors that they would expose you to really rebalance, like all the doctors that we interviewed that were successful. Okay. We only interviewed the doctors that were successful, and we looked at all of their records. The doctors that were successful, we asked them, what is it that you're doing different that all the other doctors are not doing? And everyone would say, well, we're addressing the root cause. We're addressing the root cause. So we would say, okay, well, what is the root cause then? And that's what we're going to talk about today. The hidden secret that we learned and continue to learn, that is probably the most guarded medical secret that they hope you will never understand and never learn. When we learned the secret to health, the root cause of disease, we were so excited because it all came down to very simple process, which we're going to discuss, which is a toxic external environment and a toxic internal environment. We were so excited because we went down and looked at, hundreds, if not thousands of chemicals and toxins in the external environment, if not hundreds and thousands of toxins in the internal environment, which literally took us a year tracking all these chemicals and toxins. Well, how'd that get there? Did it get there from here? Who did that? How did that work? Who funded that operation? That's when we realized that there are so many lies and deceptions on this planet, and really God's medicine, God's energy, the frequencies, the vibrations, since we're all nothing more than energy and vibration, is the true form of healing. At that point, when we finished our research, we started a healing center in 1998. We were one of the first clinics to put this information online, and our goal was to educate as many people in the world that we possibly can on what we're going to be talking about in this course. This information is so valuable and so precious that they have tried to kill me multiple times for putting this information out. I've almost been thrown in jail multiple times. They've censored me everywhere across all social media platforms. They've harassed my office. Our employees have had death threats. This information is a direct threat to the medical mafia. But do I care? No, because I knew from an early age my job was going to be helping humanity, educating humanity. And knowledge is power. Wisdom is also a superpower. See, knowledge you can gain in college or universities or schools. And the way they have it set up is that they have everybody siloed. So you're going to know everything about plumbing. You're going to know everything about being an electrician. You're going to know everything about being a pediatrician. You're going to know everything about being a cardiologist. Part of their plan is to silo us into one specialty So we become knowledgeable about one thing, but not wise about many things. That's why the elders and all the tribes were the teachers, because they were wise about many things. So wisdom is really what you should be searching for. Knowledge of multiple subjects creates a wise individual. A wise individual has discernment, can understand their body, their mind, their soul, continues to transmute and transform their body, mind, and soul, becomes more aware, listens more intently instead of speaking, and becomes a wise individual on the path to enlightenment. The path to enlightenment requires you to take your own power back and to understand the things that are taking your power away or suppressing the energy and the vibration of your own power. It says in all spiritual texts, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So why are you looking outside? A clean body, a clean mind, and a clean soul is the baseline for enlightenment. And in my opinion, from what I've learned, we are all here to work on ourselves and to become better human beings and reach the level of enlightenment. So that's my story, and I want to share this with you, and I'm excited to share this with you because once you understand what you're going to go through in this course, it changed my life, and it can change your life as well. We're going to talk about one of the things that we learned in our research project is that the most powerful healing agent known to man is actually in you already. That is what we call the body's self-healing mechanism. Nothing can heal you faster than your own body. The true definition of a doctor should be a teacher. Our job at Global Healing Institute is to teach you how to empower yourself and to reactivate your own body's self-healing mechanism. We don't fish for you. We teach you how to fish. As a matter of fact, we're the only school that I know of in the world whose motto is, we teach you what nobody else teaches you. We teach you what nobody else will. And the reason why the schools don't teach this is because they all teach symptomology. I'll give you another example. When I learned this information, I still wanted to be a doctor. So during this whole process, I was on this research team. I applied for chiropractic college, and I was doing my chiropractic at the same time doing this. I was literally working like 20 hours a day in chiropractic college and doing deep dives for hours and hours every day, reviewing documents on from these doctors around the world, and on the weekends going to these conventions, these underground conventions. And I learned this other side. And then I realized at chiropractic college, when we would take a break for lunch, we would go outside and there would be tables set up there. And it would be this nutritional supplement company and this nutritional supplement company and this nutritional supplement company. And we would go outside. It was just like medical school, like pharmaceutical companies being set up in the giving you like free lunches if you sit down with them for 20 minutes, or giving you water bottles or whatever. I mean, obviously the nutritional companies didn't have the type of, budgets that big pharma companies do, but it was the same thing. I was like, wait a second, this is the same thing we're going through here. And I would walk out and there'd be a nutritional company there and they're like, hey, did you know that we've done all this work for you for 20 years? Look, here's a big manual. If your patient comes in and you run blood work or urinalysis or hair analysis on them, and they come back and shows that, oh, they're deficient in calcium, magnesium, their liver enzymes are off and everything like that. All you have to do is look through this book and prescribe these 20 supplements. And as I started to comprehend, I started saying, wait a second. this is basically the same system. It's different, it's natural, but this is basically the same system. They're treating the symptoms and they're not looking for the root cause of disease. They're not educate. This is not about educating the patient. This is about making money. This is about somebody coming in. And then later on, I did my own studies and I was like, wait a second, is this whole system off? Why are they doing blood work and urinalysis and hair analysis on everybody before they're looking at what could be causing those deficiencies? And I'll talk about that later. But what I found was later on in our clinical is that I would take people and run blood, urine analysis, et cetera. And then I would take another group of people and detox them first. And I realized that all of these deficiencies that they were just giving you a pill for to just cover up the deficiency actually was being caused by a deeper level of a toxicity. Now, you'll understand that later on in the course, but that's like another aha moment of going, oh my gosh. And still today, we teach naturopathic practitioners, go back to the root cause and start working and educating your patients or your clients on that, and stop trying to put a Band-Aid over the deficiencies that you're seeing from the blood work or the deficiencies that you're seeing from the urinalysis or the hair analysis or whatever type of testing that you're doing on them, because that's not what the true root cause is. True healing encompasses the mind, the body, and the soul or the spirit. And the best medicine is always going to be detox, light, love, nature, getting back to the simplicity of who we are, but really deeply understanding the simplicity of who we are, why we get symptoms, why we get disease, and how we can eliminate those very rapidly and easily from the body. And we can do that ourselves without the need of a lot of money and without the need of having to run to your doctor's office as soon as you get a 98.9 degree fever. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. What I'm trying to say is that you hold the key to your own healing process. You just haven't been taught how to do it. And that's what we're doing here, is teaching you the key, giving you the secret, teaching you how to take responsibility for your own health and be confident that you can do it and have no fear at all. You just know if something's going on with your system, you know how to fix it, you know how to identify what it is, and you know how to continue to regenerate instead of degenerate.